This is almost certainly something that you can fix yourself.
The diesel heater has three chambers: the heating chamber, the combustion chamber, and the ignition chamber. The problem I'm about to explain may affect one or both of those last two parts. This is because pure combustion not only produces white smoke, but also coke, both of which are forms of unburnt diesel. A buildup of coke inside the combustion chamber restricts airflow through the chamber and also acts as an insulator, causing heat to be lost up the exhaust rather than retained and recycled by the cast aluminium casing of the combustion chamber coke. It is easy enough to clean and takes about 20 or 30 minutes in total. You can scrape the chamber out with a screwdriver or butter knife before rebuilding and reinstalling the heater again. The ignition chamber also requires all three ingredients of combustion to ignite the heater. The diesel line is actually fed into the ignition chamber. There is a small hole to allow a small proportion of the airflow to pass through the ignition chamber, and the heat is provided by a glow plug, which slides into the chamber and is surrounded by the mesh sleeve. The mesh sleeve acts like a catalyst. It provides an interface for the maximum interaction between the three ingredients of ignition. The glow plug heats the mesh, the diesel line sprays fuel over the mesh, and air is blown through the mesh. The first time I serviced the heater, I failed to slide the mesh fully back into place, and unwittingly allowed it to obscure the barely noticeable intake port for the ignition chamber. Having the mesh covering the air intake hole partially restricted airflow through the ignition chamber. The combustion chamber is clean and the heater runs well. It may still struggle to start up because there is a local buildup remaining in the ignition chamber. Before you blow money on a professional service, new parts, or a whole new heater, check the chambers are clean inside, paying particular attention to the ignition chamber, which is more difficult to visualize and access, and may be clogged even if the combustion chamber is clean. If the mesh itself is clogged, soak it in some diesel, or heat it in the flame of a gas cooktop, and be sure the mesh sleeve does not obscure the air intake port of the ignition chamber. That's it.